Welcome back to Elderly Smiles. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and click the bell icon to stay updated. Let's begin the discussion.
You know, I've been thinking about this lately.
Mm-hmm.
Like all those big family get-togethers we used to have, the ones that would practically take over the whole house.
Yeah.
I don't know, these days I just find myself
Right.
wanting something a little smaller.
Yeah.
Like just a quiet dinner with a few close friends. You know?
Definitely.
Like my social battery isn't what it used to be, I guess.
I hear you.
Have you noticed anything like that?
It's so interesting you say that.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
It's not just you.
Okay.
It's actually a trend researchers are seeing.
Oh, wow.
As people get older, they tend to shift away from that super outward-focused social life.
Oh, interesting.
And they start to really value those quieter moments more.
So it's not just me feeling like I need a little more peace and quiet?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
It's like a natural progression.
Okay.
And it's not about becoming antisocial.
Right.
Or like losing that desire to connect with people.
Okay.
It's more about recognizing.
What really brings you contentment at this stage of life?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And how your priorities might have shifted over time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of, I was reading about this guy, Mr. Lee.
Okay.
And he used to love having friends over,
Yeah.
like big parties at his house and everything.
Right.
But now he much prefers to meet up at restaurants.
Huh, interesting.
He says it's just less stressful.
Yeah.
And it lets him kind of have his own space.
That's a really great example
Yeah.
of what researchers call socio-emotional selectivity theory.
Okay, that sounds complicated.
It's actually pretty simple.
Okay.
The idea is that as we age, we become more focused on maximizing those positive emotions
Okay.
and really minimizing the negative ones.
Okay.
So we naturally gravitate towards things that bring us joy and peace.
So like choosing to meet at a restaurant instead of having a big party.
Exactly.
That's like prioritizing those good vibes
Exactly.
and avoiding the potential stress.
That's interesting.
It's about being intentional with our social energy.
All right.
And, you know, it's not just about personal preference.
Yeah.
Research also shows that there can be some downsides to too much socializing.
Really? Even if it comes from a good place?
Even then.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I remember reading about this guy, Uncle Ma,
Okay.
and he was so excited to reconnect with a classmate that he started visiting him almost every single day
Wow.
for drinks.
Oh, boy.
But what Uncle Ma saw as like friendly catch-ups,
Right.
the classmate's family saw as an intrusion
Yeah, I can see that.
on their routine.
Absolutely.
It's like, what's acceptable to one person
Totally.
might be
Oh,
totally different for someone else.
and that can be especially true as we get older. Our ideas of what's appropriate can really differ.
And sometimes even just casual conversation
Oh, yeah.
can lead to like unintended consequences.
Absolutely.
Like in Miss Wong's story.
Okay, what happened there?
She made this offhand comment about her daughter-in-law's cooking
Oh, boy.
at a family gathering. And it ended up creating all this tension and misunderstandings
Yeah, that's so common.
within the family.
It really highlights the importance of
Yeah.
being mindful of our words, especially in close relationships.
Yeah.
As we age, we might become more sensitive to
Wow.
criticism or perceived criticism.
Right.
And even comments that are meant to be lighthearted can be taken the wrong way.
It's not that we should avoid sharing our thoughts.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
maybe we should be more aware of the potential impact of what we say
Yeah.
and choose our words carefully.
So it's about finding that balance
Yeah.
between expressing ourselves
Right.
and being sensitive to other people's feelings,
Exactly.
which honestly can be tricky at any age,
Absolutely.
not just when you're older.
It's a skill that just becomes even more important as we age.
Right.
As we navigate these complex relationships later in life,
Okay.
then that's where this idea of
Yeah.
quality over quantity in relationships comes in.
Okay. I've heard that phrase before,
Yeah.
but what does it actually mean, like, in practice?
So it's about shifting our focus
Okay.
from just having lots of social interactions
Right.
to really cultivating deeper,
Oh.
more meaningful connections
Yeah.
with a smaller circle of people.
Okay.
It's about prioritizing the relationships that bring you genuine joy
Right.
and support.
So it's okay to let go of
Yeah,
some of those more casual acquaintances, the
absolutely.
relationships that might feel draining or obligatory.
It's about being intentional. with your time and your energy.
Okay.
And investing in what matters most.
Right. And that kind of ties back to what we were talking about before with solitude being a positive choice.
Exactly.
Not just like the absence of company.
Right.
And I think there's this misconception that solitude equals loneliness.
Yeah, for sure.
But it sounds like that's not the case.
Not at all.
Okay.
Solitude is about creating space for yourself.
Okay.
For reflection. For pursuing those personal interests.
Yeah.
And simply enjoying your own company.
So instead of feeling like you always need to be around people, it's actually healthy to have some time alone.
It is.
To recharge and just connect with yourself.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that solitude is not something to be feared. It's actually something to embrace as a source of peace, creativity, and self-discovery.
And think about it.
Yeah.
Like all the energy it takes to host a big gathering.
Oh my gosh, so much.
Planning and the cooking, and cleaning, and just a constant conversation.
I know, it can be exhausting.
And even just attending social events can be tiring.
It can.
Okay.
Especially as we get older.
Yeah.
Our energy levels naturally decline.
Yeah, that's true.
So solitude allows us to conserve our energy.
Okay.
And really focus on those activities that bring us joy.
Yeah.
And rejuvenation.
Without having to be on all the time.
Exactly. Without those demands of constant social interaction.
It's like giving ourselves permission to slow down a little.
Yes.
And savor those quiet moments.
Exactly.
Which can be so valuable.
They are incredibly valuable.
You know, they give us a chance to reflect on our lives. And connect with ourselves. And maybe even tap into some creativity.
There's actually a lot of research showing that solitude can enhance creativity.
Oh, wow.
And problem-solving abilities.
That's amazing.
It's true.
So choosing to spend time alone, it's not just about like resting and recharging.
Right.
It's really an investment in our overall well-being.
Exactly.
Wow.
And you know, it's interesting to think about how our views on solitude have changed over time.
Oh, I saw.
In the past, it was often seen as something negative, like something to be avoided, almost like a sign of social isolation.
Wow.
Or even a character flaw.
That's so different from how we see it now.
It is.
Like now we're starting to recognize the benefits of solitude and how important it can be for a good life.
Especially as we get older.
Right.
Yeah, it's like we're reclaiming solitude as a positive and essential part of being human.
And that shift in perspective can be really empowering.
It is.
Especially for older adults who might have felt pressured to be really social all the time.
Exactly.
It gives them the freedom to choose what feels right for them.
Exactly.
And to put their well-being first.
It's about creating a life that reflects your values and desires.
We love that.
It's not about isolating yourself from the world.
Okay.
It's about creating a space where you can connect more deeply with yourself.
Right.
And then in turn show up more authentically in your relationships with others.
So beautifully said.
It's about finding that balance between connection and solitude and recognizing that both are essential for a truly fulfilling life.
I like that.
Me too. And that brings us to something really important.
Okay.
Finding that balance between connection and solitude.
Right.
It's not always easy.
Yeah, I could see that.
It takes some self-awareness and a willingness to kind of adjust our social habits.
As we get older.
As we get older, exactly.
Yeah, I've noticed that even little things have changed for me.
Like what?
What time of day I prefer to socialize. Like early morning coffee dates sound way better than late night outings these days.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You know?
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's all part of tuning into your own rhythm.
Right.
And honoring what your mind and body need.
Yeah.
And there's even a physiological reason for that.
Really?
Yeah. As we age, our circadian rhythms change.
Oh, interesting.
Which can affect our energy levels and sleep patterns.
So it's natural to gravitate towards activities that work with our body's clock.
Our changing biological clocks, exactly.
So paying attention to our energy levels.
Yes.
And what we're feeling throughout the day can give us clues about when we'd actually enjoy socializing.
Yes.
And when we might need some time to ourselves.
And remember, it's not just about how much you socialize, but also the quality of those interactions.
Yeah.
You might find you have less patience for those superficial conversations or those big noisy gatherings.
Right.
And instead, you might crave deeper, more meaningful connections.
Yeah.
With just a few close friends or family.
That's so true for me.
Yeah.
I used to think I had to say yes to every invitation.
Right.
But now I'm much more selective.
Good for you.
I'd rather have a deep conversation with one or two people I'm close to than go to a crowded party where I can barely talk to anyone.
You've hit on a key part of what's called authentic living.
Authentic living.
It's a term that comes up a lot.
Okay.
When we talk about aging well.
So what does that mean?
It's about making choices that align with your values and your priorities, even if those choices go against what society expects.
So authentic living when it comes to socializing could mean saying no to events.
Exactly.
Even if they'll drain me.
Even if it feels awkward or goes against the norm.
Right.
For example, a lot of cultures have big traditions around holidays.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But as we age, those huge family gatherings can become overwhelming.
Yeah. I've noticed that some of my older relatives are choosing smaller celebrations now.
Yeah.
Instead of those massive get-togethers.
It's a great example of how social traditions are evolving and how older adults are leading the way and redefining how we celebrate and connect in ways that feel good.
Like they're giving us permission.
Exactly.
To create new traditions that actually fit our needs.
And honestly, that's a powerful message.
It is.
For people of all ages.
I agree.
It's about recognizing that we have the power to shape our own social lives in ways that bring us joy.
But what about the people in our lives who maybe don't understand these changes?
That's a good point.
Or what if they feel hurt when we say no to things?
That's a valid concern.
Or suggest doing something different.
It's important to approach those conversations carefully.
Okay.
With sensitivity and compassion.
Right. Like we're not trying to push people away.
No, not at all. We're just trying to create healthy boundaries.
Okay.
So we can nurture our relationships and our own well-being.
So how do we communicate these changes in a way that feels respectful?
Honesty and open communication are key. Instead of making excuses or just disappearing. Yeah. Try explaining your needs in a clear and loving way.
Like what?
You could say something like, you know, I really value our time together, but I've noticed that big gatherings tend to drain my energy these days. Yeah. Would you be open to getting together for a quiet lunch instead?
Oh, that's good.
It focuses on the positive, the connection, while acknowledging your need for something different.
I like that.
And remember, it's okay to have different preferences than other people.
Right.
What matters is that we're honest with ourselves and each other.
About what feels good and what doesn't.
Exactly. And as we navigate these changes, it's also important to remember that meaningful connection doesn't always have to be face-to-face.
That's true.
Technology has opened up so many possibilities for staying connected.
Like what?
Video calls, texting, even online communities can help bridge the distance.
That's for sure.
And foster that sense of connection.
It's like expanding our definition of socializing.
Exactly.
Beyond the traditional ways.
Yes.
And finding new ways to connect that fit our lifestyles.
You said it perfectly.
And as we embrace these new possibilities, it's good to remember that even small gestures can have a big impact.
A handwritten note, a phone call just to check in, or simply listening attentively can convey so much care and connection.
It's about remembering that quality trumps quantity.
Absolutely.
And genuine connection can happen in so many ways.
It really can.
Yeah.
And sometimes those quieter, more subtle expressions of love and support can be the most powerful of all.
So it seems like there are all these different ways to stay connected and create these really meaningful experiences, even as our social preferences change over time.
Absolutely.
And that kind of brings me to the quieter moments, the times when we're choosing to be alone.
Right.
What are some things we can do to really make the most of those moments?
It's a great question.
For reflection and self-discovery.
And the answer really depends on what brings you personally a sense of peace and rejuvenation.
So it's different for everyone.
It can be.
Okay.
Some people find it in nature, taking walks, or gardening.
Right.
Others find it in creative pursuits like painting, writing music.
It's about figuring out what nourishes your soul.
Exactly. And then making time for it
Yeah.
in your daily life.
It's like giving ourselves permission.
It is.
To do the things we enjoy.
Yes.
Even if they don't involve other people.
And it's important to be intentional about solitude. Don't just let those quiet moments slip away.
Right.
Create a space for reflection.
Yeah. How do we do that?
One way is to establish a ritual.
A ritual.
Even something small.
Oh, good.
Starting your day with tea and journaling, or ending it with a bath and a good book.
Those sound so relaxing.
They can be.
It's like creating a little sanctuary.
Yeah.
Away from all the busyness.
And those moments can be so powerful.
In what way?
They quiet the outside world.
Right.
And allow you to tune in to yourself.
Yeah.
You might find new insights emerge.
Oh, wow.
Or solutions to problems.
Just from having that quiet time.
It's like giving your mind a chance to process things.
And the benefits go beyond problem solving, right?
Why do? Research has shown that solitude can reduce stress.
Okay.
Improve focus. Boost creativity.
Wow.
Even make you more compassionate.
That's amazing.
It's not just a luxury, it's essential for a balanced life.
So embracing solitude doesn't mean becoming a hermit.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the value of both.
Connection and solitude.
Right.
Finding that rhythm.
That works for you.
That allows you to experience the fullness of both.
So it's about finding that sweet spot.
Yes.
Where we feel connected to the world, but also deeply connected to ourselves.
Beautifully said.
And as we go through life, our needs will change.
They will.
Sometimes we'll want more social interaction, and sometimes we'll need more solitude.
Exactly.
The key is to listen to ourselves.
Yes.
And honor what feels right.
In each moment.
As we wrap up our deep dive today into sociability and solitude later in life, I want to leave you with a question. What about you? As you think about your own social life, what feels most fulfilling right now?
That's a great question.
What kind of balance are you looking for between connection and personal space?
It's a journey.
Remember, there's no right or wrong answer.
That's true.
The important thing is to create a life
that feels authentic and joyful for you.
Embracing our evolving needs, honoring our individual rhythms, that's the key to a fulfilling life.
At any age.
No matter what.